What's up guys, TheMerryGamer here and welcome to my first ever Q&A video, and today is a very special episode actually. Today is the 15th of December, which is the date I started 1 year ago, so today is actually my first anniversary of YouTube. And I gotta say, I just like to start off by saying thank you guys so much for watching, liking, subscribing, all the stuff you guys do, because I wouldn't be making this video today. Now, one of the things I want to start talking about just before I get into the whole Q&A stuff is we're coming up to my Christmas special, and as you guys know, last time I did a small Christmas special which was actually the start of Far Cry 3. And what I want to do this year is I want to I want to start a whole new series. So I want to leave that decision up to you guys. So I'm going to give you a few options here, and I want you guys in the comments below is to just type down what game you'd like to see me play, and the one that has the most votes will be the game that we decide to do. So let me just run through the games that I'm going to let you guys choose from. The first game is Fallout 3. Now Fallout 3 is actually one of my favourite game series. Like, Bethesda does such a great job. I enjoy Skyrim, Oblivion, all their games, but Fallout definitely is a favourite series of mine. But probably my most favourite series would be Mass Effect, and that's the second choice. So Mass Effect's a bit different. It's not just going to be Mass Effect 1, it's actually going to be a series, sort of, a series, you could kind of say. So if you want me to see me play Mass Effect, I'm actually then going to play through Mass Effect 2, then Mass Effect 3. The other game choice is Pokemon Emerald. So I actually found an emulator on on the internet that allowed me to play Pokemon Emerald on my computer. So that's going to be the third option. Fourth option will be Bioshock Infinite. I actually still have Bioshock Infinite. Funny enough, all my games are like laid up on this bench here, and I still have Bioshock Infinite in its original wrapping. I haven't even opened the game, and so I've been told by a few people that I should play the game. So if you guys want to see me play that one, leave a comment down below like the others. If you want to see me play any of the other ones, leave a comment, and the most voted one will be our choice of game. And probably our final game will be Batman Arkham Origins. Now, I have actually started a game in that. I'm about 3 missions in, but I haven't got back to it, so I'll probably start a whole new series or a whole new save file for that one. So if you want to see that one, leave a comment. So if whatever game you want to see me play as our Christmas special and the start of our new series, then leave a comment. The most commented or most upvoted one will be the new series that we're going to choose. So now it's time to get to the most important part about this video. As you guys know from the heading that this is supposed to be a Q&A video, so I think it's about time I stop talking about all this other stuff and let you guys decide our future series, and let's get on to the main point of this video. So, as it is, it's supposed to be a Q&A, and a while back I asked the JSON fan server on Reddit, and I asked a few of you guys on I think a few of my JSON fan server episodes and maybe a few Far Cry episodes. It's actually quite a while back that I asked these questions because I wanted a good amount of time for people to submit questions, because the worst thing to do is to ask for some questions and then a day later do the Q&A, because it doesn't get a chance for everyone to actually post a comment. So the first question I'm going to answer is from Marauder. Now Marauder asked, what inspired you to do YouTube videos? And I've kind of answered this in the past. I've briefly talked about it, and I thought this was a very good first question to kind of start off with. So what inspired me to do YouTube videos? As you guys know, I did my secondary education in England, and I did A-levels. That's literally the Australian version of VCEs. I'm not really sure what the equivalent is in America, but what it meant is that I had to pick a certain amount of subjects to do, and one of those subjects was drama. Now, that was probably, could say, my biggest passion at that time. I really wanted to pursue drama as a career, and I kind of worked out to myself and was like, you know, as much as it sounds like an awesome, fun career to do, it's not a very stable career. So I kind of scrapped that idea and ended up following engineering. And as you guys know, I still am doing engineering. I'm about to start my third year back in February, so I've got a few months off now. I kind of got a good holiday, good deserved holiday. But anyway, back to the point. Drama was the thing I wanted to do, and I decided not to follow it because it wasn't stable. So after about a year being back in Australia, I went back to England to visit family, and at that time I decided to buy some equipment and actually give YouTube a go. And at first it was just like some sort of hobby thing, and it still is a hobby thing, but then it turned from just some random hobby into something I realised was a bit more better than that. I kind of realised that YouTube was the filler in my life for drama. So that is the main reason why I decided to do YouTube, because it literally was another form of drama for me. Okay, so the second question I want to answer is from Ace. Ace is another member from the JCenter fan server, and his question is actually very, very simple. He said, what car do you drive, if you do, and what is your dream car? Now, as a mechanical engineer, I love cars and bikes and all that sort of stuff, and so it's actually quite a simple answer for me to do. So literally, the car I drive is a Mazda 2 Genkai, so a very small, kind of eco-friendly car, not like massive sport or like turbo engine or anything like that, because in Australia you have to do P plates, so you can't have like big engine cars or turbocharged. So I'm a bit restricted from that. I actually go off that just before I go back to uni, so after that maybe look into a new car, but the car I have now is absolutely perfectly fine. But my dream car, that is a very hard question for me, because there's two that come to my mind, or actually there's probably 10, but there's two that kind of stand out for me. One of them is a McLaren Mercedes SLR. Absolute beautiful car, powerful, just beast of a car, but the only problem is it's around worth, I think when I was in England it was around 300 and something thousand pound, so that is way, way, way too high priced car for me, and no way in hell do I think I'd spend that much money on a car. But probably the car I would get in the future, that would be my dream car, is a 1979 Chrysler Charger. It's kind of like a sort of American muscle sort of car. The reason why is because my grandfather actually used to drive one, and my dad actually got to drive it a little bit before they actually eventually sold it. But yeah, when I heard about that and I actually researched on the car and I looked at it, I was just like, that actually looks awesome. So it's more of a classic. Actually, I like my classic cars. But enough on that question, let's move on to another one. And I think another one is here from Marauder. Let's do another Marauder one, where he says, what is your biggest fear? I don't actually have too many fears, but there's only really one that I can think of. Like, a lot of people have, fear of heights, fear of falling. That stuff doesn't bother me too much. Like, it takes a while to psych yourself up, but nothing much. My one's a bit more of a smaller one. Actually, there's a lot of them. A lot of people actually don't like them, and probably my fear is spiders. I'm not a fan of them. I can deal touching with them all and that, but I just freaking hate the things. They're just, ugh. There's something about them, like, I think it's because, since I grew up in Australia, practically every insect here can bloody kill you. I think that kind of fuels the fire of that fear. So, that is practically my fear. I can't really think of any other fears that I have besides that one. But next question is from Poosh or Posh. He said it's an easy question. Who is your favourite Minecracker, and who is your least favourite Minecracker? Now, that's not a very easy question. As some of you know, JSano is a member of the Minecraft server, and we are literally like a subset of that, where he's fan server. And yeah, favourite Minecracker, that isn't an easy question. Like, I can give you probably, like, the main people I watch are JSano, Good, Vintage Beef, BWO, Generic B, and Anders. They're the main people I watch. They're the ones that I always try and find time for. There's other members, like MC Gamer, you have Badge. I still watch them, but I struggle to watch all of them, because there's just so many of them. So, favourite, I think I'd just keep it the most commonly answered one, Good, because as much as like I enjoy all the others, if it wasn't for Good, Minecraft wouldn't exist, so that makes sense to say Good is your favourite Minecracker. And two, he's got the most funniest laugh I've ever bloody heard. But your least favourite Minecracker, I'm not going to answer that, because there's not one of them that I do not like. And even though there's a few of them that I don't even watch, like I'm subscribed to them, but there are a select few that I very, very rarely have watched. But I think it's best not to answer that question, because it's a bit harsh to say, oh, I don't like you, or for this certain reason. So that is going to be the end of that question. Okay, so the next few questions are from Dakota Files, who's another member of the JSano fan server. And he's actually given me a massive list. I kid you not, there's maybe 30 lines of random stuff that he's written. He has some really, really random questions, and I just had, yeah, there it is. One of his questions is, how many countries have you travelled to? I am one of those fortunate people that when I moved to England, we travelled quite a lot. I can't exactly give the main number, but what I'll do is I'll actually run through every country that I can remember visiting. So obviously you got Australia, then you have, I've been to America before, you have England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. I did all UK. Then if you move into Europe, I have done France, Germany, Portugal, Italy, Spain, I've done Switzerland, and then other countries I've done Singapore, Dubai, and there's maybe a few others that I just can't remember, but there's maybe another 2 or 3. But I've done a bit of travelling in my past. We were just fortunate when we went to England, because the big annoying thing about Australia is that if you want to travel anywhere, it's a long flight. Just to get from for example, to get from Victoria, which is on the east side, to Perth, that's on the west, you're looking at a 5 to 7 hour flight. So that's just to get from one side of Australia to the other. So to think to get to Europe, you're travelling for God knows, up to almost 20 hours. So it's like a 20-odd hour flight to get from England to Australia, or from London to Victoria for me. But yeah, so when we were in Europe, we realised we're more closer to everything, and we had more of a chance to see everything before we went back to Australia. But another question of Dakota's is, where it is it? What is the stupidest thing you've ever done? There are plenty of stupid things I've done in my past. But the one thing that springs to mind is, one day I was at my mate's house. You've heard me talk about Toby, maybe? I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned Toby before. Toby was one of the mates in England. He literally lived kind of country, sort of out a bit from town, and he had a huge amount of land, he had acres and acres, and he had one part of his land that kind of went a bit uphill, and at the end was a fence, and beyond that was farmlands. But one day I went to his house, and his dad, and I think his brother, I don't know if his brother was there, but I know his dad was making it. What happened, so we went up to the really far up until the land, to the top of the hill, and his dad was literally making this swing where it was literally a piece of rope tied onto a tree, and on the bottom of it was literally a stick about that big, just tied around it so that they can hold onto and swing. And he literally finished it as we got there, and he was like, "Who wants to have a go?" And Toby was like, "Nick, you can go have a go for it. You're that crazy sort of person that will just throw yourself at anything." I was like, "Oh, why not? Let's do it." And the one thing I didn't really notice at the time is that the stick that he used wasn't exactly great. It was very smooth, so it wasn't a lot of grip. And what ended up happening is that I threw all my body weight into it. So I did a big run up and jumped. And as I jumped, I actually went past the strength point of the rope. So what happened is that when I went past, the rope kind of had a curve in it and slackened. And when I came back down a bit, it re-straightened and flung me off. And I ended up flying down the hill and literally tumbling over my forwards, cartwheels down the hill, missing. I think I broke through a small tree, missed a few stumps. I actually landed next to a stump. I actually almost smashed my skull against the stump. I ended up landing about less than a foot away from one of them, and the top of my eyebrow actually hit one of the roots, and I ended up having a small cut there. And I actually walked away 100% fine, just with a small grazed cut and a bit of a bruise. But a tiny bit more to the left, and I could have literally smashed my head on the edge of a stump. So that's probably the most stupidest thing I've ever done. And for any advice of any daredevil sort of kids out there that are watching, maybe think before trying something, because I definitely didn't think that day, and that could have ended very, very badly. But anyway, next question. Describe yourself in 3 words. This is another Dakota question. Describe yourself in 3 words. I'd say merry. Why not? I'd say merry. You know what? The 3 words. TheMerryGamer. End it there. I don't know. I've never tried to describe myself in a certain amount of words, but I might come back to that question another day if I thought about it. But let's just leave it as TheMerryGamer. Why not? But I'm trying to think of other questions that there are. There's another one from, actually it's Woof Woof is her username, but it's actually Kip, I believe. She said, do you think you can imitate an American accent? To be honest, I haven't tried in years. I used to be able to do one, and I really don't want to try one without practicing, so I'm going to save that. There are quite a few ones, like we've got one here from Rad that says, how long have I played football? Is it football, right? What we Americans call soccer. Yes, so I've played soccer a while. As you guys know, I actually did my ankle not too long ago. It's actually better now. In the past 2 weeks I've returned to playing indoor footy, or soccer, depending on where you are in the world. And how long have I been playing it? I think I've been playing soccer, mainly started when I was in England, but I did play a tiny bit before I moved to England back when in my primary school here, like kind of schoolyard soccer. Then when I went to England, I continued that way, and then I joined a team for 3.5 years, then I went bankrupt. So I played for a small team called Langton Green, and yeah, they ended up, you can call bankrupt, they kind of just fell apart, like no one really wanted to continue the coaching, and the team kind of was just falling apart anyway, so it kind of ended like that. So to put it all together, I've probably been playing soccer for a good 10 years, but actually competitively probably for only about, probably longer than 10 years actually, probably close to 14 years, but probably competitively only for about 6 or so. But I think that is going to be it for today. I didn't want this episode to run too long, and I didn't want to run through all the questions because it gives me a chance to actually talk about some in a future Q&A. So I'd just like to remind you guys that to choose one of the games I listed at the start of the episode if you want to see as my Christmas special series. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time. Catch you later, guys.